Good morning, everybody, and welcome to November's first Friday demo call for Mozilla's Gigabit Community Fund. We're so excited to have an exciting project from Kansas City and from Chattanooga today. And to introduce Chattanooga's project, we have Jeff Milner.
Hey, y'all. I'm really excited to introduce, for the second time on a gig demo call, the Creative Discovery Museum MAPS team. We've got Samuel Grady and Allie with us today, who are going to be talking about the CritterCatch app that they've been developing. It's for patrons of the Creative Discovery Museum, interactive through the to facilitate the experience at the museum. It's also a platform for other people to build off of. The potential for how we interact with things like museums, with the city, with Chattanooga, with Kansas City, is really exciting. So I will stop talking and kick it over to them.
Okay, so like Jeff said, we're working on the CritterCatch app game. We are currently focusing on our core exhibit excavation station, which is basically one of the parts of the exhibit is basically kind of like zoo type thing for burrowing critters. We actually have like live burrowing critters. We have an emperor scorpion, Madagascar hissing cockroaches, I think a corn snake. And basically we're going to be making a CritterCatch game based off of some of those critters. And I have currently been doing a lot of the graphic design for the critters, and I'm currently working on the backgrounds. I'm going to screen share those critters in a moment that I've currently been working on. Okay, so this one is the stick bug that we have. I've also imported it into an animation software, which I'm going to show with the emperor scorpion. And it is right there. And then we also have the Madagascar hissing cockroach right here. And these are GIF format files because when I export them from the animation software, they export as GIFs. And then this is the animation software, and this will actually allow me to manipulate. Here I have all the layers for the different sprites and such. And these will actually allow me to manipulate the images and then export it as a GIF file like you guys just saw right there. I'm still working on how to do the animation and stuff, but so far it's going well. And we're making progress on it. The coding team is currently working on the menus and also the actions the sprites will have and interact with the game. But we're basically making this game as part of the exhibit, and we're planning on in the future expanding it and making it so each exhibit has maybe 3 or 4 games, and it will be like a map on like an iPhone or iPad or whatever device that they're using, a smart device basically, to basically like click on the map of the museum and then like its core area and then different games. We're looking at Dinosaur Dig, maybe like a B game for our Buzz Alley exhibit upstairs, the CritterCatch thing, and then also we're documenting this. I think that we've gone into a little bit of detail about that at the last video. Here on our AV team that's documenting it, doing the video documentaries, we have Grady and Allie, and they're going to talk to you a little bit about that.
So our AV team, which there's 4 of us, me, Allie, and then 2 others. Each week that there's a meeting, we'll just set up mics and cameras and document the process in which our team is coding or deciding what they want to put into the app. And when we edit, we usually put together like short, to-the-point videos. And so we'll caption it, put it together, and then we've been putting it up on sites so that people can look at the sort of looking for the progress that we've made. And we also do blogs, which is what Allie does. She does all the blogs.
I write copy for the museum, and right now I'm currently working on a blog for it, which is pretty much just about how it affects our lives. Really, it affects our future. And yeah, just pretty much our progress from where we started to right now where we are. So, yeah.
So yeah, I think that's about it. Right now, we're basically like the job experience we're learning is simply unbelievable. A lot of us are learning how to code. I'm learning like more about graphic design. I've always been interested in the drawings and stuff, but I've actually like gotten to draw these, and I'm working with animation and stuff, which is stuff I've always been interested in. I'm actually looking at colleges that will like computer science, graphic design, and stuff like that. So the amount of like education and stuff that we're getting from this is. No, they're still in.
We keep losing you guys just a little bit, but
Okay.
a pause on how important this is for education was an okay moment for us all to kind of sit back and soak it in. So it's working out just fine.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's about it. Did you get everything, or?
Yeah, it's awesome, guys. We love all of your updates. It sounds like it's coming together, and it's so exciting to hear not only about the design and development, but also the documentation of your process. What's your timeline? How is the game developing? When do you think you'll have users testing and playing with it?
The users testing and playing with it, we're looking at about like 2 months. Yeah. We're looking at about 2 months for users actually being able to actually play with it and like test it and stuff. But so yeah, basically then for the final thing to be actually completed, it's going to be a little bit longer. Yeah. Obviously, we'll need feedback and stuff. But other than that, I think that's about it, really.
That's awesome. And you guys are working with a couple of community partners, right? Can you talk a little bit about that? Spartan Systems and others.
Spartan Systems, I think, is the main one. They're doing a lot of the coding. They're kind of actually teaching some of our museum apprentices the coding progress and everything.
That's fantastic, guys. Thank you so much. Jeff, any other questions?
Yeah, I was going to jump in terms of the community partners and the connection with education. There is a connection with UTC now?
Yeah. They don't know much about that yet, Jeff.
Oh. Well, I saw you lurking in the background, Randy. So
yeah, that's why I was lurking. It's through mostly, I think, through your efforts. You have talked the UTC computer department into making this part of a capstone project. So we have a group of, I think it's either 4 or 5 UTC students who are going to be helping us out in the future with the coding and a lot of the technical parts about actually putting this game together. And hopefully they're going to be coming to our weekly meeting tonight so that we can sort of get them up to speed on what we're doing and see what they're interested in doing and move forward from there. So we haven't really done a lot of the long-term planning with them yet. That's just really in the beginning stages.
It's been super exciting to see how this project has grown and involved more and more of our community. That's so cool.
Well, thank you so much.
And I think we will turn it over to Kansas City to introduce their project. Thank you so much, CDM crew.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, hi everybody. Shannon and I today are coming to you from the glorious location of the Sprint Tech Accelerator, powered by Techstars. And we had the distinct and unique opportunity this morning to be part of the Northland CAPS pitch event this morning, which is another Mozilla Gigabit project in Kansas City, which focuses on student-centered gigabit tools designed by students in this high school junior and senior program that reaches 6 high schools in a region of the metro area. And I'm kind of teasing this out because we're here, we've heard one pitch this morning, we have another pitch that we'll hear this afternoon from 2 teams that are both working on this project, but they will actually be presenting their concepts and their project on the December Gigabit call on December 5th. So I'm super excited about that. We were going to try and coordinate them to be part of this call, but it was a little too hairy given the way that the presentations have sort of aligned themselves during the course of this day. However, it's pretty exciting. The fact that this team gets to be at the Sprint Tech Accelerator not only to do their pitches, but they've been here every Wednesday through the course of the semester to work with local mentors, US Ignite mentors, and really people to help them craft the Gigabit story and do research to come up with tools that they can use in a telemedicine application to reach congestive heart failure patients who are at risk of readmission into the hospital. So not only they're solving a big hairy problem, they're doing it in a really engaging way for students that are in and learning about global business strategy, students that are learning about design and user experience, and of course the technology students. So they all work together across those strands and those fields of study on this particular project. But that explains why I have this kind of cool background with lots of yellow. I should have worn my yellow scarf today, but I did not. So that's where we are today. I'm very excited to bring to you now via remote technology, Google Hangouts, Mr. Marcus Brown, who comes to us from the Kansas City Public Library. This is a Mozilla Gigabit project through the second round that is, well, I'll let him talk about where they are through the state of the project. But this was a project that was extraordinary in taking a technology of virtual reality, which we're probably all familiar with the Oculus Rift headsets, but this is allowing students in urban branch locations to be fully immersed in that virtual reality environment, designing their ideal neighborhood using Minecraft. So it's a great pairing of a gamified way to really get people thinking civically and being more engaged with their community, and then of course the whole design and development. So Marcus is going to talk to us about sort of the origin story of the project, the program, and where it is, and I think he's even got some shares to kind of give us an idea of some of the design components of the program. So Marcus, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Good morning. Everybody hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Yeah, so one of the things that happened when we first started doing the lab was one of the students came in and said, you know, hey, I don't like the way my neighborhood looks. You know, when I come to the library, you know, sometimes I see vacant houses and abandoned houses, and who can I talk to about that? Who should we talk to about like that? That, you know, what our environment looks like. And so we started to just walk the neighborhood one day and take pictures. And so Andrea, with her synergy, who's my boss, she was like, well, let's think about a Minecraft project. And so with the students, we started having a conversation about how we could re-envision or put elements into our neighborhood that we would like to have. And so we went about the process of starting to do that, you know, within Minecraft. And I will say this, it started off very, very lofty in mind. You know, me being brand new to Minecraft this summer, and actually a lot of this technology, so I'll say that, you know, right up front, a lot of this technology I'm being introduced for the first time. So the learning curve has been very steep as it relates to the Minecraft, the Oculus Rift, and everything that we're involved in. But students were saying things like, well, you know, there's a roller coaster in my neighborhood, but it's like there's no roller coaster in your neighborhood. Or maybe the idea of what you're thinking about as a neighborhood is a little bit more vastly than what I think about a neighborhood as, which would be a city. So we just kind of had those conversations and kind of talked about it. And then once we got to, you know, actually building, it becomes a exercise of state management, if you will, of city management, if you will, because now somebody has to do the unfun work of not so fun work of just laying the street or laying the railroad track or filling in ditches, excavation, and things of that nature. And so everything within Minecraft is not necessarily in gaming, and building a community or neighborhood is not necessarily just the fun stuff. Sometimes it's just getting things to the point where now it's time to build. And so just watching the students interact has been, you know, really pleasing. Sometimes it's been really, really great, and they share. Other times, hey, I'm working on my own stuff, leave me alone. Sometimes when we introduced the railroad tracks, it was really, really interesting that it's like, hey, we need to lay the railroad tracks for the street, but then I look up and all of the kids are building railroad tracks on their houses and in their dungeons, and nobody's working, you know, to build the community. And so you get a chance to see all of that, the dynamics at play when you see the young people going about doing this. And so I'll just real quick, it's always an interesting practice within Minecraft just to see how people use things. Just right here, and these are, you know, all student creations. I would have never thought to use a fence post to create a street lamp. And so that's what you see here. You got a series of fence posts, and then you got a section of a fence at the top with a glowstone laying on top of it. And so you get the idea that they're able to use things and be creative within this world and use the tools and things that they have access to within this world for other reasons. This is one of my favorite houses here within Minecraft. So I'll just go in real quick. Or maybe not so quick. These buttons are pretty fast. And maybe I'll go into build mode. That's another great thing about the EDU version of Minecraft is that you can walk through walls. And so now I'm in this house, and I just want to show you this real quick. They make a great use of using these blocks to build furniture. So these are just regular wool blocks that you would use to build, and then these are just stone slabs. And so they had the idea that they want to create furniture, and then they use portraits to kind of envision what would be a big screen TV. And so just the idea that students are really taking the time to look at the different types of materials that they have to be creative here is always nice. And then just as far as the project goes, we're coming to a close with it officially. We're doing our big kind of splash on November 21st. But the goal is, and we're working with the branches to create a whole digital media strategy for youth services within the library. And so after we physically stop the project with me traveling to the libraries, then we're going to take it and actually put it on a server online, and students will continue to be able to work. Because it would be no fun that if we spent the entire time of the project just working on it, and then you don't get a chance to actually create and build all of those game elements into. So that'll be the next phase that we actually have with the project. And the goal is for everybody to be able to work on it independently at the libraries versus me traveling out there one day a week and just being able to access it then. So that's about it right now. Any questions or?
That's great, Marcus. Thank you for the recap. I have a question. How important is connectivity, especially having a gig at those locations or within the library's infrastructure to hosting and deploying a program like this?
Oh, connectivity is huge because just when we survey the students when they come in, 80% of them don't have an internet connection at home. I'm hearing Minecraft in the background. 80% of the students don't have an internet connection at home, and so the library or school becomes that point of contact to have that connectivity and also be able to engage some of the latest technology, which is huge. You know, even though the Oculus Rift is not something that's, you know, a hugely expensive item, it's still something that will be unwieldy if you try to learn about it or go about, you know, using it, you know, on your own. And so that's what you get there, not only the connectivity and access to the internet, but also the connectivity and access to people that know how to use technology, because we have a great group of volunteers that work with us as well. And it also gives IT something fun to do. So they appreciate just not, you know, setting up emails and and doing the mundane things of the day. So we've been having them, you know, help us hugely with getting the Oculus Rift online. And so it's been, you know, able to bring other departments in within the library that wouldn't traditionally, you know, have contact with the youth. So
I have another question. So is this something that becomes kind of a strategy for digital and youth services to look at different immersive styles of curriculum? I know there's the Immersive Education Initiative, and we have local resources in Kansas City for that project in particular, and they have a lot of different curricular assets in sort of immersive styles of delivery. So now that you've got the Oculus headsets, are there other things that you're considering to roll into that kind of style and deliver to students? Or
Absolutely. I was able to go to the Immersive Education Technology Conference in California this past summer, and so that was my first introduction to the Oculus Rift, and also learned about this other software called the Unity Game Engine, and so they just recently made the free version of their build available to work with the Oculus Rift. So that's going to be our next phase when we actually get into the building of games and using the Unity Game Engine to develop some things around the Oculus Rift. So that'll be the next phase that we go into, just as it relates to game development and trying to use, but not trying, and putting the Oculus Rift to use on other platforms other than Minecraft.
Very cool. Awesome. Thank you so much, Marcus, and great job. I'm looking forward to the event on the 21st for sure.
Yeah.
If anybody's in the neighborhood on this call, if you're going to be in Kansas City on November 21st, 6 p.m. is it at the Sprint Accelerator?
Where you guys are right now, yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Frozen or are they frozen?
Kansas City, we lost you briefly. Thank you guys so much, CDM, Oculus Rift. It was awesome presentations today. We're really, really thankful for your time. And we will be back on the first Friday of December, December 5th, with 2 more projects. Anything else from the rest of the Gigabit team? Carrie?
Yeah, so I wanted to throw out there, so Lindsay and I in Kansas City and Chattanooga have largely showcased the projects that we have been working on within the Mozilla Gigabit Fund, and then also some of the Mozilla Ignite Challenge pilots and projects that have come through also. But we really would like to expand this conversation and expand our view of gigabit technologies and applications that are being tinkered and examined and developed across the country, across the globe. So we would really love to incorporate some new projects into this call over the next series of months. So we would love to hear from you if you are working on something that you would like to share, or in particular if you're looking for resources, connectivity, talent, and things like that that we can certainly help try to connect you with. So we want to keep that conversation open and flourishing too. So I just wanted to throw that out there, but thanks all. It's a great call.
Thanks to everyone, and we'll see you in December. And I will put the link to sign up if you would like to demo in December on the event page. Thanks, everybody.